It's 8:03 here on Richmond's Morning News, News Radio WRVA. I'm Rich Herrera. And this is the Voice of Virginia, celebrating 100 years serving the Commonwealth. All right, we've got a lot to get to this hour of the program. We'll recap Richmond's Morning News Brief. That's where we begin the 8 o'clock hour here on News Radio WRVA. Here's everything that's been going on. Those of you that are just getting in the car, get going. Let's get you up to date. And again, we remind you, either you wake up and start your day with Richmond's Morning News, or you're going to be trying to play catch up to figure out what's going on all day long. Much easier. Just start with us here on News Radio WRVA. Let's start with story number one. Project Freedom is on pause, according to the White House. That's the biggest story today for you to know this morning at 8:04.
Number one.
President Trump was very clear on the objective here. The Iranian regime can never have a nuclear weapon. And at first, he tried the diplomatic approach. Then we saw Operation Midnight Hammer, and the diplomatic approach was opened yet again. Then we saw Operation Epic Fury. And now the president, as the secretary indicated today, really prefers to see a deal. He is a deal maker.
According to a report from Axios, the two are working, Iran and the United States, as well as Pakistan, are working on a way to try to end the conflict in Iran and open up the Strait of Hormuz. Iran is saying they'll be willing to put a moratorium on their nuclear ambitions in exchange for the U.S. unfreezing a lot of the cash that Scott Besson has tracked down, especially the crypto, over the last few weeks. They want that money back, and they will agree to open up the Strait of Hormuz. So with that being said, and the Pakistanis asking Donald Trump to put a temporary pause on Project Freedom, that's what they're doing right now. Epic Fury, by the way, according to Marco Rubio and the Pentagon, is now complete. So the War Powers Act and the voting will go away because that operation is done before the end of the 60 days. Story number two, gerrymandering in Virginia is still in limbo.
Number two.
So the gerrymandering vote took place 2 weeks ago plus. The Supreme Court of Virginia has two cases pending. One they've heard oral arguments for on whether the legality of the referendum even being on the ballot was valid. There's another one on the maps and yet a third one that hasn't made its way to the Supreme Court yet. But all eyes are on the Commonwealth of Virginia. The Attorney General asked for us to lift the stay by the Tazewell judge. That hasn't happened, but it's been 2 weeks, and we still haven't heard anything from the Supreme Court. All eyes upon Capitol Square to see what happens, whether the justices will strike down the referendum that was voted on more than 2 weeks ago. Story number three, the presidential physical fitness test.
Number three.
It's back. Yesterday, Donald Trump announces that we'll be bringing back the physical fitness test. We talked about this a little bit earlier. They took it away because they felt bad that they couldn't pass and they were uncomfortable. And you had kids struggling to try to complete the 1 minute run. They said it's going to be better for the mental health of kids. Has it been? Decade later, decade plus, you see kids more anxious and nervous, or do you see kids that are confident because they're able to achieve something? You want to comment, 833-804-1140. Story number four, rain to the forecast for today.
Number four.
All right, today we will have rain in the forecast around noon and then cloudy the rest of the day. It'll be that way for the next couple days, so make sure you keep an extra umbrella or don't wear suede shoes today because you're probably going to walk you through puddles by the middle of the day. Next story of the day, a cruise ship still stuck and people begging to get off.
Number five.
People keep an eye on the cruise ship that's been out there. 17 Americans are on this cruise ship, over 100 people. There is a virus aboard the ship. They're running low on water, and now you're starting to get desperate. Please, and the people that want to get off the ship, it can be traced human to human. It comes from rat excrement. 3 people have died on that ship, and right now they're trying to figure out how to get the sick people off. Make sure that everybody's going to be able to get off the ship, but it's a nightmare going on a cruise ship, being in that confined space and now not being able to leave. We'll keep an eye on that for you, and if anything changes, we'll pass that along to you this morning. And finally, part of Gen X is back. That's right. Kids, cereal boxes, and dirty hands.
All right, so if you look in select boxes of Kellogg cereals, you'll see a Toy Story 5 cross promotion happening. that will bring little toys, collectible cards, movie promotions. So look for boxes of Fruit Loops, Cocoa Loops, Frosted Flakes, Apple Jacks, Corn Pops, Frosted Mini Wheats, Rice Krispies, and Corn Flakes, and you'll find some of these items in those boxes.
Dave and I were talking about that. Super Dave, do you remember? They're trying to get that toy out of the bottom of the box before your siblings did, or if you got that, you hid it because you probably stuck your dirty, grimy hands in there and you didn't want to get caught.
Well, the thing I hated was sometimes the best prizes were in the cereals that I didn't like.
Oh, yeah.
So sometimes, let's get this one. Well, you don't like that one. Yeah. And then I would eat like 2 bowls out of it and just get the prize out of it. And then my mom's yelling at me for wasting money.
Do you remember which cereal it was?
Oh, I don't remember.
I do.
Which one?
It was the Monster cereal. There was there was a Dracula.
Yeah, Frankenberry.
Frankenberry was the worst.
And Count Chocula.
I
like Frankenberry.
I didn't like Frankenberry.
Then there was like
Count Chocula.
Now Tricks I never got into.
Tricks are for kids.
Yeah.
What's there to say Tricks and Fruit Loops?
One's a little ball and the other one's just a loop.
I think Tricks were cheaper.
You might be right.
I think Tricks were cheaper.
But like one of those usually had the one of the better prizes in it. And I didn't like
Tricks had better prizes than Fruit Loops.
Yeah. And Tricks I tried it a few times. I never got into it. But
did you like Fruit Loops?
Yeah. I thought they were kind of interchangeable. I was always like Apple Jacks and Flintstones.
You're a weird. You like Fruity Pebbles.
Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah.
And Frankenberry.
When's the last time you had a bowl of cereal?
Oh, see, now I have to eat the healthy stuff.
I haven't had a bowl of cereal in like 30 years.
Oh, I was eating Cheerios for a pretty regular basis for a couple of years, just a few years ago. I haven't had one. It's been
You're not Jerry Seinfeld.
It's been maybe 3 years.
Still eating bowls of cereal.
The only one I was eating was Cheerios.
All right.
And Cheerios are healthy, and the healthy cereals never had any good prizes.
I need to know on the James River Air text line this morning. I need to know, what is your favorite cereal? When you were a kid, what was your go-to cereal? I want to know this morning. Yours were Cheerios?
No, I didn't get into Cheerios until I actually had to eat healthy.
Oh, until you had to eat healthy. Okay.
Yeah, it was Frankenberry, Fruity Pebbles,
Gross.
Apple Jacks.
Gross.
It was all sugar. That's why I loved it.
Look, there were 2 great cereals as a kid.
What's that?
There were Frosted Flakes. They're great.
No, that's too healthy.
Oh, those are awesome.
Raisin Bran is I occasionally eat, but there's never enough raisins.
Bran?
There's never enough raisins in there.
What are you, 85-year-old, 10-year-old kid?
Oh,
no, the other one you haven't even mentioned yet. Super Sugar Smacks.
Oh,
those were awesome.
Those were okay.
Those were the best. That's the best cereal ever as a kid.
But those were all right. What about Captain Crunch?
It was okay.
Yeah, I know people that lived on Captain Crunch, and I just thought it was okay too.
You know what the best Captain Crunch is though?
What?
Planet Hollywood, the old themed restaurant, used to do Captain Crunch coated chicken fingers to die for.
Okay,
like if I was on, death row, that would be one of my last meals.
I can see that because the Captain Crunch never got soft in the cereal.
No, but Captain Crunch coated
or
chicken
soft
tenders.
in the milk is what I should say.
Anyway, all right, that's your Richmond's Morning News Brief this morning. Now you know everything you need to know, including our favorite cereals. What was yours as a kid? 833-804-1140, 833-804-1140. The number for you to send us a message on the James River Air text line. Let's go back and recap something for you just to get you up to date on what's going on with the gerrymandering. So right now, we're still waiting to see a couple key dates have come and gone, which I'll be honest, as you look at social media, I have no idea. And I'm not really a court watcher. I watch those that watch the court, and even the most aggressive court watchers have no idea what's going on in the Supreme Court. Why haven't they got through this yet? Normally, it takes the Supreme Court about 2 months to come up with a decision. They know they have to expedite this. Why? Because you have to have people turn in their signatures to get on ballots for running for Congress. Now, we learned this yesterday from Delegate Tom Garrett. Democrats who ramrodded this through, they didn't follow the procedures. They didn't have a vote in between. They changed the rules. Nobody knows who drew the map, and then they redrew the map. Also changed the rules when it comes to who signs the petition to run for Congress. We learned this yesterday. If you're in VA1, and that's Rob Whitman's district, in order to get on the ballot, you have to get signatures from people within your district, which would be VA1. The Democrats have changed that here in the Commonwealth, and you can get on the ballot to run in VA1 and not have one single solitary signature from anybody who lives within Congressional District VA1. You can go get your signatures from anywhere in the state. That's how much chaos we've gotten from Louise Lucas with all this nonsense. So right now we're waiting to figure out when they're going to announce their decision, because people are waiting. Now, you will get people that have enough signatures. And again, through this gerrymandered, you don't have to have it from your district. You just go out and get it from anywhere you want. So if the battle lines change and the maps change, you'll still be okay. But again, we're waiting. And it's been 2 weeks. They passed the deadline for the certification by the Board of Elections. And a lot of people thought that would automatically key this thing. Okay, we're done. But again, no decision yet. We'll keep an eye on that. And as soon as we hear, we'll pass that along to you. That's why you got to stay locked in to the Voice of Virginia News Radio, WRVA. 8:15 this morning here on News Radio WRVA. Thanks for joining us on Richmond's Morning News. My name is Rich Herrera. Either you wake up with us and you're prepared for the day, or you'll be behind everybody else all afternoon long. Today's program is brought to you in part by